So now that we have understood what the first step is, what's the second step? The second step in the journey is an elimination program. What are we going to eliminate? All right? Here are the things we must eliminate to start our journey. All sugar. You can have raw, unheated honey, yes. You can have fruits and fruit juices, fresh made, yes. You can have rice syrup and molasses, crude molasses. Crude molasses. Rice syrup. Because these, like raw honey, has really not been processed. So it still contains the enzymes and the nutrients that help in its own assimilation. It's a healing food. You must eliminate all dairy in all forms. No yogurt, milk, skim milk, no cream cheese, cottage cheese, no cheeses. But you can have rice cheese, soy cheese. These look like, taste like milk cheeses, but they are not. You can have a soy yogurt, which is delicious. Looks and tastes like and even has the same nutrients, but doesn't have any of the hormones or bacteria or pesticides or allergy products. You can get these in the health food store. Yes.
Barley syrup okay?
Barley syrup is not okay. Now, if it were, I would have told you. Now, yes? If it has casein, you should not have it, because casein is a dairy product. Now, are you related to this gentleman here? If I tell you what you cannot have, that's what you can have. If I tell you what you can, that's what you can have. That's like me saying you can have no dairy. Gary, can we have buttermilk? No dairy at all. Gary, how about cream cheese? Do you understand? No dairy at all, period. For 1 month, no wheat, none. No wheat in any form, no wheat germ or pasta made from wheat, no bread made from wheat at all. No wheat in any form. But you can have spelt, S-P-E-L-T, which is you can have as a bread, as a pasta. You can have rice pastas. You can have buckwheat pastas, which is actually in the rhubarb family. There's a lot of things you can have that will give you the same mouthfeel and taste and usableness. So you really don't have to give up bread if you really like bread. You're just giving up wheat bread. There's a millet bread that's a grain. Millet's a very good grain and very easy to digest and doesn't have gluten, but no wheat. Quinoa, kamut, K-A-M-U-T, kamut. You can have kamut. Yes. Quinoa, kamut, amaranth, spelt. You can have these, but no wheat. Yes. Now listen what I just said. 3 of you are from a different generation here. And you know what's interesting? How many times have you ever told someone something and they never agree with you until you agree with them, then you've got communication. Do you ever hear say, we're not communicating, Gary, we're not communicating. All right, I give up, I agree with you. Good, now we're communicating. No, it's nothing made with wheat. Nothing made with wheat. Nothing at all made with wheat. Huh? Not so. No. It is the gluten, and the gluten is the allergen. Rye has gluten. Grasses do not have the gluten. Now, if you want to go out and eat grass, you can. Central Park, they allow it on Sundays. Now, here's the next thing you cannot have. No red meat. No chicken. That also means no lamb, no pork, no veal. No crustaceans. Crustacean is a shellfish that has the shell on the outer part of the body, like a lobster, clam, crab, shrimp, oyster. None of those. You can have fish, providing that it's fresh fish, not canned tuna. Tuna has high degrees of mercury, but salmon, mackerel is good, and orange roughy, yes. Bluefish you can have. Yeah. You can have fresh fish, but don't have swordfish. It's a large fish, and it got large by eating smaller fish, and it concentrates the toxins. So anytime a fish is high in fat, and swordfish is high in fat, the more fish that it accumulates that have toxins, the more toxins that it has in its own fat. So we want to stay away from that. Yes? Catfish is also, catfish, no. Catfish is a bottom feeder. And they grow catfish in little mud ponds. And there's high parasites in those. And they're very dirty. I mean, if you went down to Louisiana or Texas, Alabama, you'd go in this stinking little holes. They've got holes about the size of this carpet. They'll have 1,000 catfish in there. And they'll feed them each day whatever they got. And then there's no place for the water to clean itself. And so all the feces and bacteria is in there. So they're eating all that. So we got rid of meat, dairy, chicken, wheat, sugar. Now comes the toughest, caffeine. No coffee that is caffeinated, and chocolate. All right? So that is going to be more rough for most people than just about anything else. And you can expect to go through some withdrawal. Little bit of headaches, sometimes a little queasiness, but you will be given some protocols that can help diminish that. In fact, some people are able to go off of it relatively easy. Niacin, which is a B complex, can help up to flushing, where you start to get a little red, and your face tingles, a little itchy. It's really stimulating the blood flow. And it also stimulates cerebral blood flow. Ginkgo biloba, the herb, that can help stimulate cerebral blood flow, and that also helps. The B complex, specifically vitamin B6, can help. Evening primrose oil at 1,500 milligrams also helps. Feverfew at 100 milligrams also helps. Cayenne, as in the red cayenne pepper, the active ingredient in cayenne, capsicum, in a capsule at 10 to 20 milligrams can help turn off a headache and stimulates circulation. It's very good for cardiovascular health as well. These and magnesium citrate and calcium citrate at 1,200 milligrams. These are all known to help you with any form of headache, muscle tension, and if you have any nausea, then ginger root will also help, yes?
Individually or in combination?
Now you can take them all in combination. If I were having a headache, I would try to take as many of those as possible because they really turn off a headache real quick. You also have a simple acupuncture point that you can press. In the web of the hand right here, between the thumb and the forefinger, there's a soft little point right here. If you push your finger and your thumb together, right in the middle of that little fleshy point, and you push it till you feel some pain, and you hold that for 20 seconds. 20 seconds, it can help turn off a headache instantly. Also, at the base of the nose, at the nostrils, push in and up for 20 seconds. At the outside of the eyebrows right here, you push up towards the forehead and in right here for 20 seconds. Underneath the eyebrow, right at the bridge, that can turn off a headache as well. So these are ways you can help yourself with headaches. Also, sucking on an ice cube will help kill your appetite. Taking a little bit of, you should all have a juice extractor. And if you put the juice of one whole lemon and a lime, and you dilute that with some cold water, or even better still, if you have a blender, put some ice and put that in an ice with a little bit of honey, and then sip on that. Chew the ice and sip on it. Turns off appetite like that. Just kills your appetite, boom, especially at night. So you won't be eating anything, and you cannot be eating anything within 3 hours going to bed. It'll cut off your appetite so that you won't have your blood sugar up when you're trying to go to sleep. In order to cut your appetite so that you're not always craving food out of comfort, and you've had adequate nutrition for the day, and so that you're not going through a habit of eating something at night when you're going through the ritual of watching television or sitting in bed and chewing on something that will unfortunately keep your blood sugar level up, which sends the wrong message to your body. Your body wants to be calming down and going to sleep, and you've eaten something. Now, the blood sugar's up. Now you got energy. Well, you got energy and you're trying to sleep, and that's why you lay there. Take a lemon, take a lime, juice it. Both of them. You put it in a glass with some ice, blend it up in a blender, put a little raw honey in, and drink that down. Just in a minute, cut your appetite right off. And it can calm the stomach, and it can also help turn off a headache. So it can do a lot of good stuff for you. 4 or 5 ounces, that's all. Small glass of water. Just small glass. Oh, just to what your taste can tolerate. Like a 1/4 teaspoon, just enough to take some of the bite off the lemon. You can have green tea. Green tea. Green tea helps prevent cancer.
Doesn't green tea have caffeine?
No, you can get a non-caffeinated green tea. And most of the caffeinated beverages are from 35 milligrams and up, and some green tea might have 3 or 4 milligrams, insignificant. But it's one of the most powerful natural healing agents you can provide your body with. Now, because we also have to eliminate other things that are bad for us, we're going to do it in 2 stages. This is the first stage of elimination. There is a second stage that I'm not going to discuss today. I will discuss it because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but this is enough. Now, there's a couple ways of doing this. Number 1 is you can simply give it all up at once. If you have the strength to do that and you're able to handle that, that's fine. Number 2 is you give one thing per week up. So over a period of 4 or 5 weeks, you give all this up at that point. So your body can adapt, and you can adapt to what you're giving up. So it's not overwhelming. It's doable.